Hello, folks. It is a Saturday today, February 6th. Today, we're going to cover portfolio strategy building, and this is going to be like a working session for all of us. We're going to kind of work through it. So all input here, hands on deck, anything you can help with would be much appreciated as we're discussing through this. And let's get started. Let me pull up the board for everyone here so we can get started. Any questions, anyone, before we get started? I'm going to go ahead and let's do this, Leon. I'm going to first do like a recap of last week so that we can have at least a discussion of that, right? Let's recap through last week first. And if anyone has any questions from last week's Discord, we can answer and navigate through that. If not, we can get straight to the whiteboard. So let me go ahead and share the Discord screen right here. Anyone here have questions?
What is thought behind the VXRT?
That was a gamble trade.
Okay.
There wasn't much thought other than speculating the fact that it may take off after the next round of next phase that they go through. They found some issues with the first phase, and they're looking to fix it. There was a huge sell-off right after I purchased VXRT shares after market hours. And it wasn't a wise decision. So VXRT wasn't a good trade.
Means if we not bought it, can we bought it right now? Is the good price or for future?
No, I'm just keeping it because the downside is limited for me at this point, and upside is better. So I'm just going to hold on to it. Maybe I may rotate out of it if I need the money, but I'm just holding on to it for now.
Okay. And there is a one more trade for the they changes the GHIV to the UWMC, right? The ticker.
Correct.
Now they open the one more, the GHVI. Means the same company.
So you're talking about specs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the whole concept of specs, right? They're going to keep adding more specs as they keep merging with the company. So that mortgage company got done. Now they're going to the next one on the plate. So we don't know what they're going to acquire, but we may jump in. That's not a problem. I think
the Fridays went up 15%.
Yeah, it's now expected. So if you see any spec that comes out, I think what we are noticing is that you're going to see them getting bought out pretty fast. So that's why you see that hype pretty much in the beginning, because now everyone thinks that, oh, okay, they'll do a good job. They'll pick a right company and they just start buying those specs out right when they come out without any second question. They don't even know what company they're going to acquire, but they'll just buy it out.
Okay. And what you thought about the UWMC is bullish on the future for Devon?
Let's see. Did I do a core income on it or speculates?
I think spec. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let me look up.
We bought it on the GHIV first, and they changed the ticker to
it converted. Yeah. So let me check. Let me pull up the account actually and put it up front here.
Yeah.
What I have done for my account here. Let's
we
log
bought
in.
the call.
Okay, let's pull it up. Okay. So it's all the way down here. UWMC.
Yeah, we bought a call.
I've sold the $10 put, and I've to partially finance this call that I bought a little long term. Yeah. It's not that heavy of a trade. The idea here is that if it stays around $10 or somewhere there, I'm going to collect premium here a little bit. I may not collect the full 450. I may collect partial, or you know, or may have to roll this further down in 13 days. We don't know what will happen to this,
Yeah.
but whatever the case is, I am hopeful that this will pay this contract partially, and then we'll see where it goes. I'm holding on to this as a speculative trade a little longer.
Okay, that's it for me.
Okay. Any questions, anyone, on any core income trades or speculative trades before we begin?
Hey man, how are you?
Hey, George. Yeah.
Just real quick, I'm still a little confused in regards to warrants. Can you just like dive into that real quick?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to explain it in a very short synopsis, but then we're going to have a detailed session on warrants as well next weekend. Fair enough?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So warrants are, I would I would call it like a mini option contract, in a simplified way. Like a option contract, one contract equals 100 shares. A warrant, one warrant equals one share. Okay. It Most warrants give you the option to buy the one share for $11.50 at a future date. So whatever the price of the warrant is, you're paying the price of the warrant. The warrant plus $11.50 is your cost at a future date. The future date varies. Most of the ones I have seen are like 4, 5, 6 years out. There may be some 2 years out or a year and a half out. It's possible. So the way we can know how much time frame those warrants are out, we actually have to read the SEC filing where they describe the warrant and the conditions, the terms and conditions of that warrant. So sometimes they put it in the ticker symbol, sometimes they don't. So we have to read the SEC filing that tells us what this warrant conditions are. Each warrant could have different timeline conditions. Why would you buy a warrant versus a stock? Think about it this way. If something is trading for $15, okay, and you buy a warrant instead, you won't be paying $15 for the share. You will be paying much less because you're buying the option to buy it at a future date for $11.50. So it's generally, these warrants see the same curve as the stock price, but you're getting a little bit of leverage with your money. So you can get more value out of your money in a warrant. So the way I think of it, if a spec does not have a warrant or an options contract, I will get the stock. If the stock has a warrant but does not have the options contract, I will get the warrant. If the stock has options contracts, warrants, and stock, I will always get the options contract. Why? Because I can find favorable terms for myself in the options contract than a warrant. So that's just my thought process. I'm not saying that that is the best thought process, but that's what I feel comfortable with when it comes to warrants. Any other questions there?
How the delta works on
There is no
warrants.
delta. There is no delta. There is no Greeks to analyze here.
Met one more question. Like
The
why it is
delta, let me put it this way. The delta is variable and it's not fixed. So it could vary based on the demand flow of the warrant. We don't have like a delta tool on the warrant like we do in the options. So
So
the
how the
best,
price goes up and down, I mean, as relates to stock itself.
correct. It is proportional to the stock.
Met,
You can close
so
anytime those warrants.
Up until they are called, which is 2 years, 4 years, whatever the time frame is. Yes.
So
So
is value not going to go down below 1150 then?
So guys,
No, no,
I just want to add one thing.
go
The
ahead.
warrants can be significantly diluted based on the pre-merger stock price. There was a really nice YouTube video recently. I think someone put it up in the chat that explains this in detail. If not, I can share it and we can talk about it next week. But I started digging into warrants more and more, and they have different dilution levels based on the current value of the stock. Not all of them do that, but now more and more, the SPACs are getting smarter and they're seeing the activity and the price action and they're taking advantage of it. So just a heads up on that.
Yeah. And so maybe we'll dive into that next week on the dilution aspect of it. But my humble opinion right now is if you're trading short term on the SPACs and you're trying to monetize on quick moves on the SPACs and there is no option contract, you'll get a better short term ROI for it.
So,
Dilution won't happen until a little time later in the horizon. It depends on how long you're holding on to that warrant. That will make a huge impact on your decision. Uh, and what just Frank said, do me a favor, just go check out that video that's posted in the main chat. And if we need to repost it, we'll go ahead and repost it somewhere where you can see it. Fair enough?
For the
is it
CC,
more risky when compared to the stock?
There is a little bit of additional risk to it because of all these factors, but I am buying warrants because I want the hype, short-term hype, and my capital outlay is less in the short-term horizon. So the risk in the short term is very minimal. Long term, there is risk if you don't take action on it.
Mhm.
So my to answer, I think whoever asked that question, can you sell? Yes, I can sell my warrants anytime I want to. Right now, like if I wanted to just own the warrant for 2 weeks, yeah, I can buy the warrant and sell the warrant.
Yeah.
I've already successfully done a transaction, so that's not a problem.
for the CCIV, you say close the 50s call contract. And you thought that in future it goes more than 50?
Yes and no. So the way I was thinking in that context is if I waited, I had a huge bias based on activity I was seeing that morning that there was a run-up potential on CCIV. Okay. And what I mean by run-up potential was that you actually saw that if you noticed, right?
Yeah.
Is it ran up, right? So before that run up, like I opted that I just want to close out the 50 call because in the short term, if I waited on the 50 call, then I would be losing in the extrinsic value, not intrinsic, extrinsic value. Long like towards the end of the contract period, I will make the money in the extrinsic value, but I don't want to wait 40 days. So I decided to close it, let the run up happen, and then after the run up has already happened, my next step there is that I might set it up at a later date at a better price. So I pretty much collected $970 ish in that. I took that money and then I said, okay, you know what? I don't want that to go to zero, 970 to go to zero in the interim up until the 45-day hits. So I closed it. I'm going to reopen it where I can collect more premium at a later time because I'm ultra bullish on CCIV. So I don't want to cap my profit on the top side. Okay. Good questions.
Means,
Any
are you
plan?
planning to buy the more contracts for CCIV or just keep with the 10 contract?
Can you ask the question? Am I planning to buy
More contract for CCIV or just keeping 10?
I'm out of money right now. If I get more money, maybe I'll consider it. If there's another opportunity, I may put the money in the other opportunity. It depends. Next week's market condition.
Okay.
Hey, one question. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. I just muted. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I guess the strategy for CCIV, is it best to have options and shares in that particular SPAC just on their like their bit on their like their business structure, or what? If you
No,
no,
no. So I'm going to repeat that same statement I always say. If there is options available, I will never trade stock. The only time I trade stock is if it's paying dividends, it's doing something valuable for me to own the stock. If I can do something good in the option space, I will never own it because I always going to buy in 100 increments anyway. Like if you're buying in less than 100 increments, yeah, you're welcome to do stocks, or you're welcome to go ahead and do warrants as well, right? You're welcome to do whatever, but since I'm doing 100 increments, I will always get a options contract because I know a contract that I can buy that will give me better terms for the value for the money. So whatever I'm putting in, I'll get better value for the money in terms of delta, in terms of everything versus a stock.
gotcha. Because I'm just asking my particular case because I have shares in CCIV, so I don't know if I should sell it or not. Just getting your opinion. That's all.
I'm not going to recommend anything like that, right? Obviously, I'm not here to recommend what you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already know how a stock behaves, right? You go up, you make $1 for every dollar it goes up. You lose $1 for every dollar it goes down, right? Why do I do options? Because I want better terms than that. I don't want to make $1 for dollar when it goes up and lose $1 for dollar when it goes down.
Gotcha.
So CCIV, if it's lucid motor, then you're willing to keep it for a long term, or
Oh yeah. Yeah, if it's Lucid Motors, I'm keeping it. And this is actually kind of rolling into our discussion that we're going
What's
to
the
have.
definition of long term?
Yeah, and that's where we're going to, Frank, we're going to do the portfolio thing, right? And we're going to address what we mean by long term, right? Yeah.
at least for a year, right?
Leaps, right? And then rolling out leaps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So long term is relative to what, right? Like I think long term, according to the text definition, is more than a year. Are we talking about 4 years, 5 years? I don't know yet.
No, but
So
at least a year, right?
yeah. So at least a year. I plan to. And I was having this nice discussion with Frank throughout the week, right? Like I mentioned this, right? I did a math calculation, right? That if I kept, because I think we did an amazing job back. I think I'm not trying to brag here. I did an amazing job back in 2005, 2006. I went through my old Yahoo list of trades that I bought in 2005 and 6. Okay. And if I decided to keep those same exact positions until today, or let me put it this way, if I lost my brokerage link password until today, and I never logged into the brokerage link until today, I would have had $7 million in my account. What does that tell you?
Keep it for long term.
Don't day trade.
What does that tell you? Think about it for a second, right? Like if I
But is
did
it
keep,
double from your current
Also,
portfolio or
what?
triple? Is it double or triple from your current portfolio, or to compare?
Oh, that is like I was just looking at it. It was like almost like some of them were 20x, some of them were 5x, some of them were 2x. So it ranged pretty much from whatever to whatever, right? From that time frame. So I I think that's a learning lesson for me, and I'm just sharing that with everyone. That what did I do throughout these years? I felt like rotating in and out of this, doing that, right? If I decided not to pretend to be the dumbest investor in the world and said, okay, I just picked these good companies and just forgot about it forever, I'll do a better job than what I'm doing today, right?
I saw.
Wait,
I
wait, wait,
saw.
hold on. You talking about just holding shares?
But
No,
in this,
holding, deep in the money calls or holding
Oh,
shares.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
Both.
I saw a really good video this morning from Warren Buffett,
Yeah.
and he was basically kind of saying the same thing. And I don't want to take too much time, but he hit some really good key points in his investment philosophy. So he needs to. His first thing, he needs to understand the business. I think he's kind of deviated from that a bit. Obviously, there needs to be good leadership there.
Yep.
They also have to be a brand and people know and people like.
Mhm.
He likes that a lot. And the business needs what he calls a moat. They need a castle with a moat that protects the business. Anyways, he had some very good philosophical points on his investment thesis. Obviously, never lose money. He always says that and a few other things. But he seems like more of the type that he spends a lot of time more on the analysis than the actual purchase price of a particular company. And he said that, yes, sometimes he's bought companies that were a little bit more expensive, but he wasn't in it for a quick trade. And he doesn't care about the movement of the price of the stock because
Yep.
he's in it for a long term before he pulls the trigger. So, anyways, it was a very, and it kind of reminded me of what you just said in the conversation, and I just wanted to share some of those thoughts.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I should chime in a bit. I think Warren Buffett. I think his investing strategies are not playing out in this kind of a market. In this kind of market, one has to be more aggressive.
Correct.
Not just long
Don't
term.
disagree. I don't
Yeah.
disagree. I don't agree with all his investments. I think Warren is his time has passed, but I think his investment thesis still holds plenty of water.
Yep. So I totally agree with you, Frank. And by the way, just a little intro to those who do not join us during the weekly calls. Like, I wanted to at least introduce Frank to you. He's part of our Profit Makers community. A lot of people are wondering who Frank is, but I'm going to share my screen here so you can see. Can you see my screen? Google page. Yeah.
Yes.
So Frank is pretty much a personal financial advisor. He kind of puts articles together. I posted his website link out here, so you're welcome to go and visit his website and read his articles out there. Does an amazing job of articulating a lot of stuff around investments, college finance, budgeting, and all that. So love what he does. He's here with us today. So I'd like to kind of take that moment, and what we're going to do today is Frank and I, when we were conversing throughout the week, we found the necessity to at least put a portfolio together. Like, this should kind of address a lot of people's concern. I think is Snail on by any chance? Did we get Snail? Mandar, are you there? Yeah. You
I'm
see,
here.
folks, like, if you recall, she asked, that, I have a 401k. What should I do with that, right? Like, those kind of questions are very critical, right? Then let's kind of understand that perspective. Should we be doing what we're doing right
Yeah.
now in my 401k?
So first off, thank you for that warm
Yeah.
welcome, Mitt. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the direction we're going. Is for a 401k, can we do what we're doing, selling premium, right? on it. Definitely not in a 401k, because we don't have the ability to do that, right? Uh, and because of that, our now idea here is that we want to compartmentalize what we are doing. Okay, I don't want people comparing everything we're doing under the same umbrella, because you want to tune your mind to think that, okay, if you're selling premium for income, that is a strategy on its own, and it is doing some work on a consistent basis. It has its own risk profile there. If you're buying calls and day trading calls, right, that's a strategy on its own, okay, and does its job. If you're investing for the long term in a 401k portfolio, that's an investment strategy on its own. Okay, these are pillars. When we try to compare these three pillars and trying to like intermingle it, you're not doing yourself justice, right? You can say, oh, you should be doing this pillar and not this pillar, or you should be doing this pillar because it's producing more return but not this pillar, right? Because all of them have their good days, all of them have their bad days. You have the own perspectives, right? So that's why I think it was necessary for us to kind of see if we can together as a team come up with a good portfolio kind of strategy together, and then we share it with all of us, right? Like let's do it as a team. Like uh we're not going to be as smart as the ARC funds that are out today, but I think our objective is to build our own ARC fund. What is an ARC fund? It is one of those funds that was created by Kathy Woods, and what they do is they try to pick good companies that will do really well in the future, right? What are the futuristic companies, right? So that's why we're here today, just kind of brainstorming together as a team, and putting these companies into perspective on a whiteboard. And once we do that successfully, we'll see whether we want to adapt to it. It's our own personal choice what we want to do with it, right? I personally will consider, rotating my portfolio to this type of approach. And what I
May,
mean by portfolio, I mean my retirement portfolio, or something where I don't have much leverage or that ability to make changes on it. Yeah, go
MIT,
ahead,
we will
Shay.
call it the MIT, we will call it the MIP fund, MIT Profit Group
No,
Fund.
yeah, I don't want to name it or anything. It's yeah, actually, I think Frank mentioned that like we should call it the Mid Fund or something throughout the week. But yeah,
MF International.
Yeah.
we how about this? Everyone can name it whatever they want to for themselves. How about that? Right? You can call it whatever you feel comfortable calling it, right? So yeah, it's funny. I like what you
Or
just
we can
said.
call it the MIM Fund, MIT Meta Fund.
No, no names, no names. Just discuss the ideas together, put it on a paper, and then we go do our homework, deep dive homework ourselves, and then we come back and post it.
So I can. So how do you want to start this, Mitt? Because I can.
Yeah,
If we
so
all want to throw out some ideas on themes, I got some
yeah,
ideas.
yeah, let me see if I can is there any way I could share, let me share this let's call this the fund the fund
Themes.
themes. Let's see, save. Okay, get a shareable link. Okay, copy link. Okay, and let me see if I can share it in the chat box here with everyone. Okay, chat box. It's chat box right there. Perfect. Privately, everyone. There we go. Everyone's welcome to go to that link right now if they can. Let's start with the themes, Frank. What are the sectors that we want to call out? I put 6. If we need to do more, I think we can do more, but we can start with 6 if that's okay.
Yeah, I spent the last few days kind of throwing out some ideas and listening to people, you know, on our calls during the week and doing a bunch of research. And here, I mean, I don't know if everyone agrees with these. Here are just some of the ones that these are the ones I see have a 12 and potentially 10-year horizon, 10-year horizon.
Yeah.
One of the strongest is fintech and cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
As one. And that the nice thing about that is that particular area, fintech and crypto, is that it's solid in almost any market condition. The other one is obviously where there's a lot of heat right now, the EV ecosystem, I call it, because it's not just EVs, it's the ecosystem.
Yep.
Space exploration is one I think that is about to emerge in a big way. Online sports betting is another one. And then cannabis. And just standard e-commerce and freelance is another one here. The last two that I have are cybersecurity, AI, and big data.
Okay, so let's see this.
Well, rare earths will go into the EV ecosystem.
EV ecosystem, okay. Space exploration. So betting, can it go under any category? Not really, right?
No,
Separate.
it's more or less betting in itself.
Yeah. And then what is cybersecurity, right?
Yeah, cybersecurity. I see that as just growing. It's not going anywhere, and there's more and more demand. And they have another one, just AI and big data. Now, again, these are just, you know, I also had e-commerce and freelance, but these are all the ones that I have put together, and I started to build a portfolio around all these different things and have a bunch of funds and companies that cover some of the stuff.
Let me put the e-commerce, AI, freelance. Let me just put that together, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to keep it like to 6 buckets if possible. Not having to create another silo of it, right?
Okay.
So everyone that now has access to this, you know, that has clicked on the link, can start putting ticker symbols or things that are, you know, you can go down pretty much and add. And if you feel like there's too many, like, you're welcome to take the sticky notes from the left side and put the sticky note there. And then we'll come back again and start talking about each of these ticker symbols kind of thing.
Mit,
Mit,
this is Shri.
Yeah,
I have some initial lists, but right now I'm on my phone because I had to attend to an emergency. So I will add to the list or send my stuff once I get home.
No worries. Yeah. And once we are here, if you have you have them memorized or not really?
I have a few, I think the buckets that Frank mentioned are pretty comprehensive because I have a initial list under some of those buckets, and I was kind of checking off each of my buckets as you and Frank mentioned those buckets. I think you pretty much covered all the buckets. The only thing that I could think of was drones. You can put it in some existing bucket, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That can go under space.
Yeah, drone technology. So that was the only thing because I was thinking AI, and Frank covered it as well. You covered it as well at the end. So the only thing but I have a preliminary list that I already have at home. I can send it to you, but I can, as you guys add names, I can add some if extra things come into my mind. And another one input I had was, in addition, cannabis, you can also add psychedelics under cannabis.
Can I put like cannabis with betting and all that, because that's like all the bad stuff
It's
people
all
can
the it's all the things that Meta doesn't approve of, including alcohol and tobacco.
It's all it's all pretty much. I'm not saying I wouldn't approve. I'm just saying that it's not in my league.
Where can we put genomics here?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, genomics. I
Yes.
see. I had a different. So what I did with mine. See, if ARC already had a fund around it, like ARC K, ARC F, ARC Q, ARC W, or Print for 3D printing, I just said just buy the ARC fund. That was my approach. So I was trying
genomics, I think genomics is a valid ad, Frank.
Okay, yeah. Hold on a second. We're adding that.
I like genomics.
There is ARC-G. There is ARC-G. That's their.
Yeah. So here's the concept, right? Just go ahead and
correct ARC-G.
Yeah. Go ahead and put the what do you call the ARC-G there, right? Like I'm not limiting everyone just to put stocks. Put the fund as well, right? You're welcome to put the fund too, right? What is that? GILT or something, or D? Frank, on space.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah. GILT.
GILD is Gilead. GILD is Gilead Sciences.
GILT.
GILT is the Guild satellite, mate.
Yeah,
that's Israeli company. GILT.
Yeah, I was looking for that space one. Yeah, that satellite. GILT. Yeah, and by the way, you're welcome to move these a little closer if you want to for spacing or anything. Leon put all the crypto coins, Mike.
Oh, we need to add BlockFi. BlockFi is definitely going to be going public at some point. 1 second.
Well, we should probably only focus on the ones that we can publicly trade.
Yeah.
Today, I think there should also be a watch list of companies to watch when they do go public, like Coinbase, GraphCore, Stripe, Plaid, potentially Rivian, and stuff like that.
Are we not adding any SPAC stocks at the moment?
Oh, there's SPACs on here.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, couldn't read. My bad.
I was surprised IPOE didn't show up on the fintech crypto yet. Right? I
thought I put it on
I got
there.
you, George. I got you.
I thought I put it on there. It might have got deleted.
No, I see IPOE. Or I think somebody just added it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did put it on. It must have got deleted. So sorry.
Well, you put it as a SoFi, which is correct.
Leon, what about the PayPal?
I'm like meh. I mean, to me, it's meh. To me, it's meh. To me, it's
why
boring.
are you meh on PayPal?
I think
Leon
I'm bullish on it. But go ahead.
Leon likes the Bitcoin excitement. It should go from 1,000 to 30,000. Only then Leon likes it.
Yeah. I'm like 10%, 20%. No, where's the 100 to 500%? Where can we get those? That's why I think something like Square could do.
And by the way, the idea here is, everyone, the idea here is whatever you put here, you better be thinking not to hold it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You want to hold it forever and ever and ever. Even if they had like a big bad like accounting fraud issue or something, you're going to hold on to it. You're going to say, no, they're going to come out of it and they're going to become a better company if something bad happened.
Yeah. Palantir should have been first on that list. Yeah.
How about SKLZ in betting, online betting?
It's
yeah,
not
put
a,
it there. Put
it's
it.
not betting. It's just an online mobile
Just
gaming.
gaming or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not betting. But if you want to add it, I'd say add it. I personally think the run up and the arc pump on skills might be already built in, but who knows?
I have a few. I have a few cannabis stocks if you guys want to add in. Like I'm really into that.
Yeah,
GRWG.
put them in. Put them in yourself,
Yeah.
George.
I'll put them in. I'm driving right now. I can't put them in.
Oh, okay.
No.
So yeah,
No.
yeah, I can see them either because I'm on the phone, but I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, our usual part stocks are APHA, ACB, GRWG, maybe just MJ, the ETF.
Yes. TLRY.
I have
TLRY.
MJ. I put MJ and YOLO. I don't know if you saw that, and those cover most of those stocks.
Yeah. So TLRY, Kern is still low priced, but Kern is in the mix too. That's all that comes. CGC, of course. If Vishal is here, Vishal is the big CGC guy here.
CGC.
Yeah, CGC.
Okay, I shorted that one. I remember. Yeah.
I have a part list. I can send it to you a bit later.
Yeah, that's fine. We're just trying to put this together first, and then we want to discuss about it, and then also see nobody's putting any funds, ETF funds that
Oh, there's
include
plenty. There's plenty on here.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah. So if you look under cannabis, I put MJ YOLO.
Yeah. Okay.
Under betting, I put bets, BETZ.
What about the ARC Space one? That's not there.
It's
yet.
not out yet. That will be ARC X.
Will it be possible to have a section strictly for medical, pharmaceutical, or anything of the such?
Yeah.
Is there
Let's put a
section for that?
healthcare, right?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
roll that all into genomics, like healthcare and
Well,
genomics?
Yeah. Let's do that.
And also those healthcare things. I mean, those are mostly super speculative, right? Unless you're talking about a Johnson and Johnson.
Well,
Yeah,
certain
no,
stocks,
we
like-
want the ones that we want to hold on to for more than like 2-3 years.
And do the HCA Medical City one.
Yeah, the place where my wife works.
Yeah, my wife works too over there.
But what about 5G stocks?
5G.
So I can add something for that. Let me add it under cyber. I recommend SMH, so I like SMH because it covers everything in semiconductor. It's a semiconductor ETF, so you got all the 5G players in there, and then you also have your other big chip players, NVIDIA and AMD and so forth.
Okay.
For AI, I have one name that comes to mind, AYX. And I think Baba also has, Baba and Baidu might have some AI component to them.
Yeah, Baidu is under the EV because they're doing that. They got approved as the default autonomous platform for China.
Okay.
So yeah, they definitely are big. The AI ticker I threw in there is AI for C3 AI. That recently went IPO, and I think that has more room to go if you can get in at the right price.
Okay. I can't
by
see
the way,
it, so I'm just throwing darts. I'm throwing darts. I can't see what's on the board right now, but I'm just throwing whatever I remember.
Nice pick in cannabis, TCNNF by Andrew. That's one of the few marijuana stocks that isn't a complete crap show in terms of technicals. It actually has a really good looking chart. I haven't seen anything in marijuana I like. I'm very pro marijuana.
You're very what?
I'm very pro marijuana, cannabis for medical, and even psychedelics. Oh, we should get Compass on here.
EV, SBE, we are missing SBE.
I was saying most of the marijuana stocks are terrible.
So I want to get some people's thoughts on cannabis, because I was kind of thinking about this morning. There's a lot of hype around cannabis, right? But how many people are actually going to be stoned all the time? Are we going to create a society and people just always smoking pot?
No,
Or
I'm
is this
thinking
always
cannabis.
because I kind of think about it, the people that have been smoking pot are the people that have been smoking pot, right? Employers are not going to allow people to smoke pot. They're not going to change whether it's legal or not. Like I don't know. It's one of those things where, I have nothing against it. So let me just come out and be clear. Whatever people want to do in their private time.
Yeah,
Medical
of course.
marijuana, though, right?
What's that?
Yeah, medical.
The medical marijuana.
I'm just saying marijuana in general as an industry. I think people are, and I might be wrong on this. I think they're overhyping the potential for it.
Yeah, I think. I don't think it's going to be a growth in more recreational users. I think the growth. I think it's stopping people who are on OxyContin and getting them to use marijuana instead.
That's a good point.
It's those guys are the ones that need to do the switch, and I think that's slowly starting to happen.
Yeah. It's one addiction to another addiction.
Marijuana isn't a viable alternative to heroin. Heroin addicts are currently using a product called kratom to wean off of opiates. But marijuana and heroin.
Oh, and you don't even get high off a kratom.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, can you get high off a kratom? Like I've ordered kratom.
No, you don't
pain.
get high. No, you don't get high off of kratom. What it does is it weans off the urges that happen from opiate addiction.
Yep.
I personally see more growth in the online gambling and sports betting space than I see in cannabis.
Oh, for sure. Like definitely, especially with esports. Once esports getting more into that.
If I go back and you look at where money has gone historically, in betting is one of those industries, especially like someone just said, who was that, Leon Sports? Oh my gosh, it's just it's crazy. I thought I put Maxar on there. Sorry about that.
No, you did. I just moved it into 3 different buckets rather than, because we can write notes about it, right? I was just looking for one ticker per sticky note.
Going back to cannabis, I'm a big cannabis person. So I would say that there's going to be a huge market, especially in New Jersey now, especially for the people already structured for the cannabis market, such as stores that already sell vapes and whatnot. And as well, smoking is not just one thing. Using CBD oil while eating, mixing it in with your food and whatnot. There's been I 2 years ago, I went to a Thanksgiving where the guy did CBD oil on the turkey or something like that, which was great. It tasted phenomenal. So I think there's gonna be more of a broader spectrum when people are using cannabis rather than just medical use. It's like when I go eat dinner, I sometimes drink a glass of wine. Maybe I'll have a gummy as dessert or something like that nowadays if it becomes more legalized.
But if you look at countries where they've allowed and they've legalized recreational drug use, there was always an initial spike and a really strong roll off over time.
Which countries are you speaking of? Because
like Amsterdam, Switzerland.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying I'm going by. I have to go by data that's out there. Right?
No, and if you actually do the research, what Amsterdam's largest problem was the fact of negative tourism, because they were kind of painted as the pot capital of the world. So it brought in a definite negative like connotation of their tourism industry. So that's what they were trying to quell. Personally, if I own a smoke shop in Dallas, I've been a part of the cannabis industry for a while now, and personally, I do believe that cannabis is a much larger potential for market than online gambling. But you're basically relying on people's vices in both of those categories. So.
Hey,
what's going on, guys?
You're just saying that people are going to be thinking more. I'm just trying to understand. You're going to, are you going to
Not
convince
thinking
people
more,
to
consuming more.
consuming more? So there's going to be more consumers of.
There's a larger market for consumption of marijuana and cannabis products than there will be for gambling.
Interesting. Okay.
People have no gambling.
Oh, okay.
Gambling isn't a product. People don't.
I'm actually in the cannabis space, so I'm up here in Oklahoma. I've got like 3 commercial licenses, and nice. I started up with 1 farm, and now we have like three farms, and I just, I'm just out here listening and stuff. But
hey, we should connect. So.
Yeah, you guys could go. I mean, once in a while, if you guys want to, y'all can come and visit me. Right now, we prepped up and all the product. I mean, I think Oklahoma is a pretty big market too. I mean, it doesn't have enough consumers, but it's one of the population. I mean, we have the most licenses though. Like there's a whole bunch of growers up here, and
of all the states, you have the least restrictions. It seems.
Yes, it is. So I actually used to live down there in Plano. I just moved up here just for the cannabis scene, and I got in pretty early. We just started prepping up. And
you guys should post your usernames in the chat so you guys can sync up together.
Yeah, no, I'll I see your name. I'll drop you a message later, Chuck.
That's cool.
Cool. All right, how's the board looking, guys? How are we liking this so far?
What about the long view? There is LGVW.
Put it on, Dixit. Yeah,
but I don't know it's go where.
What is that? What
the
is
long
that?
view? The Buffett investing on the LGVW.
Wait, is it SPAC? But we don't know
what
what's going
sector?
in?
Is it just like they're pretty much a bunch of random companies, right?
If there's nothing in it, we can't put it on the board. We don't know what it's for, so we can't put that on there.
Like it has to be serving one of these sectors. If it's a mix of a bunch of sectors, it meets the purpose of.
There's an empty card above Maxar. Is that supposed to be something?
I don't know.
Cool. Wait, so this is a pretty big portfolio. This is let's see. I mean, this is almost 100 plus.
You got to start somewhere, right, before you start reducing.
Yeah, I'm actually loving this portfolio. Like, just think about it. I just think we have too many options on the cannabis and betting more than any other sector.
Well, I also look at EV. It's out of control.
Oh yeah, and there's like tons more out there.
I mean, I think in the EV space right now, and this is some of the things that concern me. I think there's only going to be 5 to 10% that survive in that space.
Absolutely, I think same thing in marijuana. Like probably like 3 to 5.
And that's the thing that really, really concerns me from an investment standpoint. Investing, and this is kind of my thoughts on the EV space really quick. Betting on, I'd rather bet on the hay than bet on the horse, because every horse needs hay, right? So if you're going to throw money at that space, I feel safer betting on the ecosystem, whether it's chips, whether it's charging, whether it's rare earths, any number one of those things, because it's going to be brutal over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I just added
Fintech,
lithium.
fintech,
Maybe we need
crypto.
copper
That's all
too.
we have, folks.
I mean,
Can you put XRP? I'm just kidding. Don't put XRP. I'm just kidding. Don't hurt me, Leon.
I'm all
like,
in
who
on
dat?
Ripple.
Let's ban them.
I put my life savings in Ripple.
No.
XRP to the moon.
Oh man.
Actually, no, I'm lying. I have half in Dogecoin, so we can add that up there.
So I just thought of something. I just joined in. Sorry, I'm kind of running late today. But what about like transitions to like food, like food innovation? Like I don't know, like maybe like Beyond Meat or like those kind of things. Not necessarily those companies, but like something like that, tattoo chefs and those kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys are still talking categories, but I thought I'd just mention it.
I would also be interested in that as well, because I was hearing ideas of innovations of food control with both technology and blockchain technology as well. I was wondering if there are any companies along those lines.
IBM.
Go ahead, Vernon, you can go ahead and put your food innovation tickers. I created a category for that.
I'm on my phone because I'm taking my mom shopping, but
okay.
can somebody else do it for me?
The only company for me, this is just me personally, in food that actually excites me is the stem cell beef and the stem cell meat companies. Like whoever
Impossible Burger, or what do you call
no,
that?
those are the vegan products, right? Very niche. Most of the world eats meat. And
for food.
What was that?
Tattoo chef. Yeah, tattoo chef.
But is that like is that just an app? What do they do? Tattoo chef. Let's see.
It's competing with Beyond Meat. They have
They're like
so many
prepackaged foods that are actually good.
Can you put that in the chat room?
I'm on my phone right now, but I will do it later. TTCF. I have so many stocks in there.
Okay, so you're saying it's better tasting than Beyond Meats? Is that the?
No, but they have so many products, but some are good, some are okay. They are everywhere. They are in Costco. They are in Walmart. They're everywhere now.
Added it to the board. Nothing against veganism. It's just I don't think that market's really big.
More stocks I have Planet 13. I don't know you guys aware of Planet 13?
Yeah, isn't that a pot stock?
Yeah, I have a lot in those. I've been buying since it was 90 cents.
Oh.
The ticker is PLNHF, I believe.
So the question is, how do we determine who stays and who goes, or do we just keep them all up here and you just pick whatever you want?
No. We're going to have that second phase discussion. Yep.
Are we allowed to include penny stocks, or are we avoiding them overall? Like, even
well, do you think they have
you're welcome
long term?
to add them. Yeah. No, okay, that's fine. I think in the cannabis, I already see several penny stocks already.
Yeah, penny stocks become million stock. I mean, it's become mid.
I would say 99.99% of penny stocks don't make it. So that's.
What about OTC stocks? I put BYD on there.
Planet 13 is also OTC.
Is also OTC, yeah. I have a few more, and I'm doing good in those. But
are you guys okay with OTC stocks being on here?
Yeah. No restrictions at all.
Okay.
So I just started trading like last week, man. But is this for options, or are all these that it's on board? Is this for trading and stuff, man?
No. So this is an exercise that we're doing for portfolio analysis to see what portfolios we should create for a long-term portfolio. We're not discussing options or stock today. We normally do discuss options on other sessions, but today we're just picking different sectors. We are putting stock tickers here on the list. And then
These are
particular
like
stock,
2 years, 5 year. What is
yeah,
the
yeah,
range on this?
yeah, 2 years, 5
Just 1 year.
years.
1 year minimum. 1 year minimum. So
Minimum,
Chuck,
okay.
another thing is you can design this entire portfolio with options.
Yeah, well,
Long term.
let me clarify, Leon.
Okay.
Right, there's some of these you cannot buy options because they're OTC. OTC doesn't have options, so pretty much like, yeah, we can design most of this with options easily, right? But this
So
is
should we
just
color code these? Is the color code mean anything or?
no, it's random right now. Yeah.
Okay, because maybe that might help. Like if certain ones that were like we came up with categories like a color for OTC, a color for ETFs or funds,
Mm-hmm.
and then a color for regular over-the-counter stocks or whatever categories we want to come up with. I don't know, just a stupid idea. That way, it's just easier to understand the board.
Let me try create.
I mean, we don't have to do that right now. I mean, maybe after we go through the down select, we can clean it up.
Coco.
Maybe you can use green, yellow, and red for places like first, second, and third also. I don't know if you want to add link to crypto for chain link.
Are we doing cryptocurrencies on here too?
Yes, first.
There's I see fintech crypto was like the first.
Yeah, there's a whole.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know we actually meant cryptocurrencies themselves. It was more like companies that are in the crypto ecosystem.
It's the top
anything
well,
you
why
want
not?
to
Why not crypto?
hold
Like
more than
No.
a year.
I didn't know that. As like I just saw that now. I have nothing against crypto. I was just curious.
It's funny. My actual long portfolio is crypto. Like I'm actually trading stocks all short term, which is funny. But yeah, link. Sure, you can get on there. They have one driver though, but let's see. They could do well.
What do you think of Cardano?
Not a fan. All right, so I like Charles Hoskinson's, right? And that's the only thing Cardano has going behind it. No one's building on it. Here's a bigger question. Here's a bigger thing. So it's Cardano, smart contract platform, right? Ecosystem, Ethereum ecosystem, smart contract, EOS, smart. Of all of those, that genre or that category in crypto, Ethereum is the leader by far, like number one, because of adoption and Lindy effect and developer capture. And
No doubt.
Important stat: like 90% of all of the building and developers and new developers, the young 18-year-olds that are coming in, they're going to Ethereum. Like no one is building on Cardano. I don't know why they picked Haskell. What a stupid language to pick. But also like there's no excitement behind it. They kind of stagnated for a couple of years. Really, their entire base is speculators. Now, in crypto, like there's a huge base of speculators, but like no one's building on it. No one's even using it. Like if you look at the transactions, like nothing's going like happening. EOS obviously like pretty 100% shitcoin that just wash traded themselves to 4 billion. Like they paid teams to build on it, but no one's building on that.
So which coin are you most bullish on?
This cycle, Ethereum, like hands down, and obviously Bitcoin will always be will always be the largest price per coin. But I think Ethereum is going to outperform vastly in terms of ROI. It outperformed it last year. For example, if Bitcoin does a 3 to 5x from here, Ethereum is probably a 10 to 20x from here. And a pair to watch, by the way, you want to look at the ETH to Bitcoin pairing. So right now, I think that's 0.4 something ETH. per Bitcoin. As that number gets up, that's good for Ethereum. Like if it gets closer to 0.1, that's kind of like a top to kind of look for. But yeah, I like Ethereum. And okay, and then the only other smart contract ecosystem platform that's even getting close to getting actual developers interested is Polkadot. Because I'm a developer. I know a lot of my developer friends who are also in the crypto. They're starting to learn Substrate, which is the framework for building blockchains on Polkadot, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for who's actually diving in and like spending their free time and energy to kind of like learn this stuff and get excited about it. And Link, and see the thing with Link, it's like just buy Ethereum. The Link is built on Ethereum. It's like it's funny. Like if you look at the top 20 or 30, 50 coins, like in terms of transactions, i.e., like volume moved and like who's actually using it. Like I think it's like only 2 of those coins aren't on Ethereum. I think that's Bitcoin and Stellar Lumens.
Yeah,
everything
but
else is the ERC20 token.
Yeah, I don't want to go on a crypto sidetrack here, but I mean today I would make the argument that the majority of the use cases for crypto is basically selling it to the next person who wants to pay more for that asset, as opposed to it really having fundamental utility yet. I think there's still a lot of potential and upside, but for the amount of people that are actually truly utilizing the blockchains for real commercial use, I still think it's still minuscule to its hopefully future potential.
Yep. Okay, so let's. I think people have settled down with no more entries here, right? Everyone good with what this looks like for now, right? So now, just like out of curiosity, okay?
Mitch,
Yeah.
Mitch, I have just one category, and this is not a technical category. Somebody mentioned healthcare, but a special bucket on anything related to cancer and its remedies. And those are biostocks. They are going to be really very volatile, but I think it's worth watching out.
Yeah, we'll put it under healthcare genomics kind of thing. So,
Mitch, where do we get fund to invest in all these companies?
Profit maker funds.
Yeah, profit makers.
Gains, bro.
There's one other thing. I don't know if we want to think about this. Is any recovery plays or recovery stocks over the next year that are potentially pretty beat up right now? Because if we're talking a 1 year horizon, there are some amazing deals out there that are still beat up. But I mean, I wouldn't look at that as a 10-year play, but there are some opportunities out there.
Yeah, I can think of a bunch right now.
Yeah, Spirit, AMC.
AMC, Spirit, Airlines, Cruise Lines, Six Flags.
Okay. Let's put the recovery.
I'm sorry you asked mid. I had to throw it up.
No. That's okay. There's nothing to be sorry about. This is it.
I would just call it like recovery stocks.
Yep. Unfortunately, I lost. Do we have access to? I lost my my ability to add the box. Where did it go?
You can just copy and paste and then just change the title.
Yeah, there we go.
Problem solved.
Yeah. So here's first step while you all are doing this, right? You can continue, but if we were able to invest in all this and forget about it, what do you think our portfolio would look like maybe 5-10 years from now in this?
Billions of dollars. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
3x.
I think it's how you weight it, right? I think you really have to be careful here. What I've noticed a lot is that investing usually goes against your thesis and it goes against what the market thinks is going to happen. It usually doesn't happen. The opposite happens. So I think it's how you play this and how you pick it. I think someone mentioned at the beginning, like which ones have 5x potential, which ones can give you good solid returns, like stable returns. So I think a good balance mix of that, because most of those 5x plays, you think of 5x plays, they're not going to make it.
Yep. Right. Yep.
But a couple of them probably will. So I don't know. It's an interesting question on how do you now position this to make a crap load of money. That's the goal at the end of the day, and in a stable way.
Yeah. So that being said, I think that leads into the next question, right? Okay, so let's start with fintech, right? Step one. Let's start with fintech. Any questions on, like, the crypto? We're good right there. We got Square. Any questions on?
Can we zoom it a little bit?
Yeah. Do you have the link? You can use the link too, Sachin.
No, I don't have the link.
Yeah, it's in the chat box.
Let me see.
I thought it was about
joined
Lucid
late,
Motors.
Can we share the link in the?
Oh, it's already there.
In our Discord?
No, it's in the chat.
In the chat box.
I just shared it.
Okay.
I shared it again.
Thank you.
Just you log in with your Gmail, but you don't have to make an account. Just this is a cool app, though. I've never heard of it. Never seen it. So
I
usually use draw.io. This is nice.
So I'm assuming the genomics, like health and wellness, will probably be healthcare. No, I see it, guys. Sorry, that's perfect. Oh, don't forget TTOO on the healthcare and genomics.
I don't know about the long-term thing. That chart looks terrible. It only looks good in the short term, and that's what I'm worried about. Like when we talk about healthcare, all the healthcare stuff that's popping right now, I think these are all like just hyped through trends. Like who can fix COVID, right? But if you look at all their long terms, they're terrible.
Understood.
Yeah, you don't want something that starts at this price and it's never gone back, right? They all have gone crashed down like this. Like they look like they look straight up scams. And then it's only like the last month. No, now you those are what you trade those short term, right? You trade those short term, you get those calls before you see a bunch of people saying, "Oh, these guys fixed COVID," or some test does this or whatnot. And okay, yeah, getting those short term calls and flip it around. But I would never buy a leap on any of those healthcare companies.
I'm with Leon on that. I think the companies, if we want to stay to that 5-10x thesis or multiples, are typically companies that are digital plays in one way, shape, or form, that have very little overhead, very little regulatory risk, really good management, and have a huge market cap potential or huge market potential. And I don't want to steal your thunder, Leon. I just wanted to compliment what you just said.
Yep. Okay, guys, I think we have a ton of tickers. There's another step, right?
Yeah.
Do we play? Is this stock bingo? Do we have to start flipping the cards or something?
No.
And then there's a prize at the end.
No, now Mitch is going to make a bunch of money. Just literally mimic this entire portfolio, put it in there, and distribute it evenly across the board, and then let's see. Yeah, and then y'all will just see the account grow, right? Like by itself, right? Fair enough, everyone. Wherever we can do in the money calls, we'll do in the money calls. Wherever we can do stock, we'll do stock.
Hey, Amit, could you add SBE and EV? I don't see it. Charge point.
Yeah, just put it on the bottom.
I was trying to put it, but like I was unable to. I don't know how.
Or you just put the, what do you call,
Oh, I mean, yeah, IDR. Just can we change it to
yeah, just double
SBE?
click it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, double click it and then SBE.
Yeah.
Right there.
Man, this EV list is scary.
So everyone here thinks that this EVs are going to be solid plays for the next 4 or 5 years. They're not going to crash. They're going to be just fine. Everyone's going to
I
live happily
disagree.
ever.
90% of this list, I would trade like 4 months out. Like you
Yeah.
guys are.
If we're going by, so that's the question: are we going by stock value or are we going by companies surviving? Right. So like, I love Tesla. I love Tesla as a company, but I think it's had its run. I think Neo is not going to be a long-term winner. From everything I've recently started digging into the company more and more. I love BYD. Love BYD. I think they're probably going to be a winner. Baidu, just because of their relationship with the Chinese government. I'm not a long-term believer of CCIV. I like the charge network plays, ABB, EVgo, EV Box. And I like REMX from a rare earth standpoint. And anyone want to add to that? That's just my 2 cents.
Yep.
For me, I think Neo, because as Frank was mentioning about their relationship with the government for Baidu, same goes with the Neo. And the reason I'm saying is because CCP have like kind of meetings. I forgot what they say it. So in which they decide what they will gonna do in next 2 decades, and this is what have been in their list, what they have achieved so far. And if you look for what they have for next coming years, they have space, they have EVs, because Beijing has been one of the polluted city, and that's why like they're too much focused on electric vehicles. And if we look at the trend, uh, how much adoption is have been there on the electric vehicles, so there is a very good number. They are the like one of the fastest growing cities and even the country, if we specifically talk about Beijing. And we all know that they're too much aggressive on other part of the world. If you just leave uh, US and Europe, so in South Africa, if we talk about Southern Asia and all those countries, they have been like pretty much putting their money there. And I think like, and if we see that Neo already their corps are already using Neo, and which sort of shows their connection to government, not indirectly, but I think so. And they don't have any other company which is doing as good as Neo is doing, other than Tesla. And they definitely, if they're taking US as enemy, and if they're thinking that we need to go ahead of US, then definitely they will be kicking out Tesla maybe like pretty soon.
So
You're saying,
let me
I'm
put
sorry,
it this.
Neo's going to take out Tesla? Is that what you just said?
No, their CCP government will take out Tesla.
Oh.
So Neo will be the play.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. Like if that happens,
Yeah.
like there's some other bad macro things going on.
So
But hopefully,
I'm not saying just I'm not just saying they will going to kick, but I'm just saying like this have been their philosophy. Like you look at like everything, like fintech companies. You talk about any every single company, they form it, they compete it, and they just kick it. Or like they will not kick it. They will kind of they have EV subsidies now. They might be they will change it to, okay, EV subsidies will be only be applicable on made in China products. Then like these kind of things, they will not kick it like directly, but they have their own tools, and every country wants their company to grow.
So you're bullish Neo?
Yeah, I'm bullish Neo.
What? And you're not bullish BYD?
Oh, actually, I haven't looked on BYD.
Yeah. So if I look at those two companies,
Mhm.
I'm very bearish Neo and very bullish BYD, because BYD actually started as a battery company and they're gaining market share and their sales are growing at a much faster pace than Neo. and Baidu is really the autonomous vehicle platform for China. But thank you for sharing your insight on Neo, though. Everything I've seen is very bearish.
No, I was like how I was thinking is because they are kind of in talk with Xiaomi. I don't know how to pronounce that name, Xiaomi, because uh, this is the like largest selling cell phone in India, and they have been collecting data and all other features, and uh, like they are not using Apple products in their car. They are using some other product like there's Xiaomi, Hawaii, and all those things. And I am thinking because China is in good relationship with like other countries too, whom they are paying a lot of money, and those companies are growing. Like I think like keeping those things in my mind, I say.
Okay. So let me in interest of time, right? Like let me just kind of now let's quickly kind of skim through this. Okay. Now and let me put it this way very, very clearly, right? Everyone will have a positive approach to this or negative depending on the sentiment that they have seen, right? And like someone will say, okay, Tesla will burn to the ground. Someone will say Tesla will go through the roof, right? But you've kind of put the best guess of what you think you would want to own in these sectors in the future, right? Like for the next 4 or 5 years at least, right? So my next question for everyone here is, while you've put everything here on the board, right? Wouldn't it be just easy to for everyone here to just pick a few tickers of their choice out of these, right? And then analyze the other tickers and say, what do you want to see in your portfolio? You're not going to buy all of them, right? You're just going to pick a few out of these that you feel comfortable and you're going to buy and hold in your 401k or something like that, right? So maybe it's probably a good idea to do that homework, research these, and see which ones fit your needs. You're going to see pros and cons to everything, right? What fits your needs. Now, next step after that is, now that you have this, what kind of strategy do you want to play on it, right? Do you want to have a full bearish perspective of, or like bullish, a neutral perspective, and make money in the future kind of perspective? How do you want to play this in the future, right? A long term, right? That's the next part of, I think, the discussion is, how do you want to play it? Are you confident? What is your confidence level on these tickers, right? If you're super confident, then you can go full bullish and take the chances. If you're not too confident, you can play a strategy that is requires less confidence there, right? Or doing a premium selling strategy long term kind of thing, right? That will earn you a good ROI that supersedes your expectations, right? What's everyone's thoughts?
Mit, can I add something here?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
you can add anything. Yeah.
okay. Before, what you're saying is very valid, but I just want to add something to the prior point you made. Like you said, some people will say Tesla will burn to the ground, and some people will say Tesla is going to go through the roof. It's going to be a $2,000 stock. So I think all opinions are valid. One thing we can do is whatever due diligence we do, good or bad, we can be bullish or bearish, it doesn't matter. We can all put it in one place. So whoever is bullish, for example, on NEO, if we all put it in one spot, we can also read the opposite viewpoint. And I think that net will benefit everyone, because like Frank is bearish on NEO and the other person is bullish. We get to see it all together, and whoever has a viewpoint, has data, looks at things, can keep adding to something like a central document, and then you can take whatever stance you want to take.
Yeah, so this is the whole idea. I was trying to create a central document here so everyone can see it, right? And then eventually, I think, well, we're going to move this to like an Excel or something, and then we're going to discuss further on how we want to approach this over time, right? Like if we want to play a options play on this, let's go ahead and have that discussion. If you want to buy the stock, you don't even have to have the discussion with me. You know how to buy stock. If you know how to buy clothes on Amazon or buy groceries, you by now know how to buy stock, right? It's just go log into your brokerage and buy the stock, right? That's not a problem. So I think I think the reason I wanted to do this exercise is so that what I've noticed a big trend within our community is like, what do I want to get for the future, right? Like everyone's like all confused and there's a lot out there and we're just mapping it out. It's all mapped out here. Now, I'm not being superly optimistic, but I'm going to say what is here today on the screen. You'll be surprised. This is like an exercise I did back in 2005, something similar. I found companies at that time that these are going to be great in the future. If I held on to them long enough, this is what I would see, right? And I think we've done a same exercise here and put something together as a team. And if these take off, they're going to be the future, right? So like my next thing is in the next 10-15 minutes, does anyone have any questions on this?
Well, my question is, there's a lot of smart people on this call and a lot of people that have a reason why they picked something, and I'm not familiar with all this, every pick on here. I understand most of these positions, and I don't know how long it would take, but it sometimes it's good to hear someone's insights, why they picked it, right? Some people say, oh, some guy on YouTube mentioned it, right? And other people, like, I spent 2 weeks researching every company in the industry and I have analysis and charts and all this, and this is the best company for that reason, right? So everyone has, and some people are just emotional about a stock.
This is a good company because Meat mentioned it.
Exactly. There you go. So it's sometimes, I have my perspective on things, and I like hearing other people's perspectives sometimes. But I know that could take a long time. That could take a long time. I understand that. But I was just
Does anyone have questions on any ticker symbols here? Anyone?
I don't have a question, but in regards to the ticker symbols, are we able to kind of not edit it, but add on to it, like your thesis of why you picked it and all that on the post-it, or
here's where I'm going with this, right? I'm going to consolidate this and I'm going to create channels within our Discord where we talk about these themes, right? And
what about a shared spreadsheet? Everyone has a tab, and then we make our own portfolio based on all these different names, and then in those then we can have our comments, right? Because we can't put it all on one document. It has to be different tabs.
Yeah. So yeah, makes sense.
Can you help me understand the whole process? Like, what are we trying to accomplish here? So let's say if we selected 10 companies out of all this selected ticker, right?
So I think the next phase here is, and we won't do it today, but you pick 10 companies you want to put into your 401k or long-term portfolio and lock it up, right? I think the next phase would be, okay, what strategy do you want to play? If you're buying stock, everyone here knows how to do it. If you're buying options, you know how to buy calls, but you probably need a little bit of guidance that I want to buy this deep in the money call, or I want to make sure I buy a deep in the money call, but I finance myself. I make sure if my risk is protected by X amount, if anything bad were to happen, whatever, right? Like you can say, oh, you know what? I'm willing to go all in on this one long term. and whatever happens will happen kind of attitude, right? So everyone will have their little meter gauge, right? From, okay, I can, I want a very low risk, I want a very high risk position within these ticker symbols. And we can come up with something like that, right? Easily, right? So what I was thinking about doing is consolidating it, and having that long-term portfolio built out by each individual's request, and we're going to do it in channels pretty much, so that people can see that, okay, this is how X person is playing with Baidu. And then in terms of thesis and all that, I'm not leaning on thesis or opinion here at all, because I can frankly tell you by looking at all these ticker symbols today that you're going to have a strong opinion, positive or a negative opinion. And anyone that has a strong opinion can make a case for it because they have read or heard about it somewhere. Fair enough?
Yeah, I
Seems
understand.
fair.
But like in the future, when the market um, is bullish or bearish, then our emotion and psychological, we just all think differently. I want to book my profit at 100%. Some will can wait for a longer period. So
Yeah, so then this is not the right pillar that for that person, right? So there are different pillars, right? Like I explained in the beginning, right? There's a pillar of income making. Okay, that's a pillar right there. There's a pillar for swing trading, or making money within days, weeks, by buying calls or something. That is another pillar. And this is the third pillar, which is you go in and forget about it,
yeah, okay.
Hey,
right?
Mitt.
Yes.
So this is something that I mentioned to you earlier this week, but something that I noticed. So I have I don't know if you guys know this service, but Simply Wall Street. So it keeps tracks of the stocks that you're looking at. And something that I noticed was that most of the stocks or most of the options that I'm trading, the underlying, are going insane in a 7-day period, right? So right now I just received an email like 4 hours ago saying that the stocks that I looked at went up 22.7%. But the way that I was looking at those stocks originally was not to keep them for long term, but it was more to simply, get income, monthly income. So sell the premium, so I could, sell it, so I could sell the contracts, so I could get premium.
Yep.
But these are the same stocks that I look forward to, right? So this is basically the same thing that you're talking about. Like for Palantir, CrowdStrike, these are companies that I am very bullish on, and therefore I am comfortable selling puts at the level that I'm selling at because I think it's going to go up. But at the same time, now I'm realizing that I'm losing opportunity because I'm not buying calls for myself. So because I'm realizing this as well, and also because of this activity that we're going through, part of my strategy now is to buy one or two calls and then do something similar that, something that you'd always do, which is finance those calls by selling puts. And then once I finance it to a level, then I buy more calls and then continue selling premiums at it. So that's something that I started incorporating because I'm noticing that most of these companies that we are all looking into, we're looking into it because we all believe that these are really good companies, but we're not buying it for ourselves. We're just looking at the short term, disregarding the long term.
Yep. So
Yeah,
this is where we are trying to, like, I like what you're saying, Mr. Valdez. This is why we did this exercise, right? Is everyone here believes in these companies long term. Okay, the last discussion I want to have is what companies should I be buying by each sector going forward, right? The question we should be asking is, what strategy should I play for a certain ticker symbol? Fair enough, because they're all here. You have more than what you want, right? Like EVs, there's a big list, right? Like obviously, like some people have a belief that not all of these will survive. Some will survive, some will phase out, right? Unfortunately, we didn't put the Ripple in the crypto, but Ripple is an option too, right? But a lot of people don't believe it's going to make it through, right? So similarly, like these can be filtered further down to a streamlined case. But then here's where I see the challenge happening, right? The challenge is person A will put a very bullish case, another person B will put a bearish case, right? Like Frank just literally, took the liberty to understand what Sachin was saying about Neo, but he was bearish and Sachin was bullish on Neo, right? Everyone
I
has
think
their
I think
opinion.
Army. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
Army was talking. He wasn't really talking about which to pick. He's more like how to diversify your strategy. So it sounds like
Correct.
he's been only selling, right? And that's what this group is, right? This group is mostly selling options for passive income. And except for me, like I've done 5 trades probably that were on the sell side last year. Every single one, it's been like $10,000, $20,000 on buying call options because of the nature of how the market is right now. But that's me taking way more risk than most people, right? And then my brother taking like phenomenal risk beyond me, right? Like that's how you turn $8,000 into $1 million with call options. So yeah, you have to know where you are with your risk profile, and then you take a portion of your capital that you're in your sell side trades, and maybe start doing very small positions and calls, and if that keeps working out, then yeah, slowly increase it over time, right? I think that's the
So
goal,
here's
increasing risk.
here's what I'm proposing to everyone now. This is what I'm proposing, right? Digest this. Digest it. Comfortably digest it. Ask each other questions in the community. Why this? What are your thoughts on this company? Like what is going on? Do whatever you need to get insights. Google search them the hell out. Get enough insights on it to make you comfortable on this, right? Do your research. Like now, a lot of people are like, okay, I want to get into space drone explorations. Where do I start? Well, here you go. You got at least 7 on your list. You may come up with more along that research. We're going to start putting this into like a common framework where people can revise, edit, update so that people can see this, right? I think what we need to take this to is, I'll take an example of Tesla, right? Whatever it's trading at is like, man, out of this list, I only like Tesla, okay, for the long term. And I think it's going to grow from current levels. So, how much risk are you willing to take in Tesla? If it goes down to 400, are you going to be able to sleep at night? Are you going to be happy with that? And if you say yes, yeah, I can stomach that, right? Then go right ahead and do what you're doing and stomach it, right? If you cannot, then we come on and create a premium selling strategy and say that, look, this is where your break even is going to be at the worst case scenario. You will not lose money if it goes below 300. 300 is the worst you can lose in this particular strategy. So you can pick and choose what you want to do within Tesla. You can pick and choose what you want to do within Neo, right? But like what I'm trying to get everyone here is, at least you have a laundry list. Like you have a wardrobe now with clothes. Now it's a matter of, how you, what you want to wear and how you want to wear it. You want to wear it upside down, you want to wear it top side up. That's where you can kind of strategize. But but all the clothes have been laid out. Yeah, go ahead.
Mate, I'm so proud of you of the examples you're giving.
No, just trying to use analogies, not examples, but you see, this the reason we have to do this exercise is because everyone is pretty much hung up on ticker symbols long term, right? Now the hung up has gone out, and now you can focus on strategy. Here you got laundry list, but if you want to do additional research, dive into this. While you're diving into this, you come up with another ticker symbol. Oh yeah, put it on the list. Now, what we're going to do as a community, we're going to find a very nice creative way of laying this out where we can streamline all the communication about these companies and understand more about these companies better.
So, I just want to add something else too. So, something that I am trying to do is I'm trying to do my own research.
Yeah.
And as I started doing more research on Palantir, I got a little bit more of a high conviction on it. So because of it, one benefit of it is I started moving to the 30% probability, 70%
Yep.
probability of profit, because I felt, you know what, I like this company, I want to keep it for the long term. So if it goes against me, I'm getting the stock at a discount, and I'm okay with that. So that I started thinking about it that way, and it's actually making me feel a little bit more comfortable because I
Yep.
have such a high conviction in that company. So that's
Exactly.
another positive of this.
Exactly. So you now see why we're going in this direction. Is now you cannot stick to just MIT's strategy, right? MIT strategy is only going to give you 40-50% return. You feel stronger than MIT strategy on X company, you can go, go aggressive a little bit on it. You feel less, you think MIT is aggressive on this one, you can go less aggressive with a strategy, right?
And you get
So,
higher premium.
and get a higher, yeah, there you go. So we want to help facilitate that process, but we want to also get everyone here at least the ability to understand where they want exposure in the market. Fintech, rare, if you want to pick one out of each of these sectors, you're welcome to. You want to just, you feel like, no, mid, I don't think, EV is going to boom anymore. The next boom is going to be in healthcare genomics. And you can pick that sector and go into that, right? Like everyone has choices, and that's why I want to make sure I'm not debating or having those conversations here, that hey, look, this is better than the other. I'll tell you frankly, there's debates I have lost in those areas, not because I'm right or you're right, just because the market decided to take a different approach than what you are thinking today. It will do something different maybe 6 months or a year from now. But what are your thoughts today about the market, right? Is where we go. We can speculate as much as we think based on what we see today, but we cannot speculate something that we do not know is going to happen. Did we speculate ever that GameStop will go to $300-$400 ever? Did we even speculate that? It happened all of a sudden because of a market rise, right? Or something like that, because of this short interest model. And, retailers decided to, take revenge on the hedge fund. Like, you can't speculate that's going to happen, right? Things will take its course, but there's some folks here that have kept asking me that I want to redo my IRA account. I want to redo my 401k account because I enjoy this income, but I don't want to do this in my long term portfolio. I just want to pick a few and forget about it long term. Guess what? This is your whiteboard where you can come in, say, yeah, they talked about these. Let me ask on the chat why this, or go Google research. Why is this hyping up, or what is the thought behind it? What's anyone's thought here? Like, what are y'all thinking?
So I'm just gonna say I love this. The only thing I would like to see, at least personally, because I have no experience with this, is when it comes to research, what exactly am I looking for? So having some kind of, I guess, template so that we can work from there. So we know what to look for, or what are the categories of I guess resources. I don't know. I just feel like in terms of research, everybody always says, I want to do research, I want to do research, I want to do research, but we don't know where to start.
So research
Obviously,
is pretty vague. Research is pretty vague term. So like maybe Leon, I think you implemented an amazing process in dumb money, right? With the thesis and all that, right? Here we're not using that approach because that can go haywire as well, because everyone is going to put a random ticker that they like and they want to pump or something. Here we did it the flip way around, right? What we did is we put these ticker symbols like people are thinking about in general, and then we're going and putting a thesis statement in a format together in
yeah,
that way.
exactly. So here's my 2 cents on that, right? So, like, if you're on the selling side, like it doesn't matter what the asset is, right? There's only two things that matter: liquidity and price, and do they have a lot of options, right? I mean, you could just do selling side strategies on the SPY all day, every day, right? But so you're asking the question of how you pick something for a call play, right, or a put play. So normally there's been two types of traditional ways to do research, right? That's fundamental analysis, technical analysis. But Chris Camillo with Dumb Money, he pioneered social arb, right? And so that's and now that works on most companies, and obviously there are some companies that's probably hard to do it on, but it works best with like commercial stuff, right? Like you look on social media, like for example, let's Peloton, perfect clean example, right? On Instagram, you see everyone all of a sudden getting Pelotons, and then they're forcing their friends to buy Pelotons. Get into my Peloton, like companies that have cults, right? And cults of like they're trying to get you in it. Like there's the Bitcoin cult, the Tesla cult, CrossFit's a cult. So there's social. You can use social arb research with companies like that. Peloton was a harder one because there wasn't any social on Peloton, right? It's just like there's a big name behind it. There's like the Skynet. We're heading towards a big data world. Warfare is going to be more digital and data, anyways. That's the play there, right?
And this is Leon. This is beyond social arb that we're trying to do, right? If social arb gets you into these positions, that's fine. But after social arb has already happened, it has already hyped and it's already now in the market. Are you willing to hold these stocks beyond the hype that has happened already, right? Are you willing to hold them beyond that, right? That's a question you should be asking in these stocks, because these are stocks that you're not just seeing hype today, but you're going to see the future growth potential for a long term kind of
So,
thing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so to kind of add to the conversation, I love opportunities that have a huge market cap potential.
Yeah.
I love players that have amazing leadership, right? A good brand name behind them, multiple streams of revenue, already profitable if you can find that, and not profitable, at least already pulling in revenue in one shape or form. That you just think, you strongly believe based on everything. So there's kind of like a formula if you look at it. You look at Tesla, right? Tesla's a great example. They're an energy company, right? They're not a car company, and people looked at them the wrong way. They have batteries, they have solar, right? They're going to be attacking the energy grid, right? They got cars. They're and they have an amazing leader that people admire, love, and they love the brand. They want it. They want to contribute and be part of that passion, right? I see a lot of it. If I had to pick a company up here that just came out, right? So I'm thinking companies that have huge growth potential, right? Maybe IPOE could be one of those, right? Maybe it's people love space and they love Astra or something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some ideas. But it's it's looking for which companies here have that potential, right? And those are the ones that are going to 10x, right? And you can't always you can't go by what people on CNBC are saying, right? You can't go by what you have to kind of analyze it that way. Are they going after the biggest pie, and do they have a shot of getting it? And do they have the right leadership at the top that can make it happen? And and those are the ones that are going to last 10 years and grow that 10x. Like maybe it's Jumia, right? There's someone here. You look at e-commerce, right? You look at Amazon, $1 trillion plus company, right? C Limited is just done amazing, right? Growth. Mercado Libre, right? In Latin America, every one of these e-commerce plays have grown like crazy. And then you got Jumia, awesome brand recognition throughout the African continent, $4 billion market cap, wherever it is now, 4.8. It's tiny, right? Do they have the right leadership, and can they get to that 100, 200, 400, 500 billion dollar market cap, right? There's that it's all about potential, right? Can they get there? Anyways, that I just wanted to add that, you know, those are the types of things that I see the same pattern time again, that has that success story, that has that potential to get that big.
Yep. And this is where folks need to take a breather, do a little bit of their own research, and then like get opinions within the community if they want to, about this. Where what Leon and I are trying to brainstorm here is, and what we're trying to do for the community here is how to best package this in a way where there is interaction around this, and I can add my value on top of it, which is strategy, right? Someone wants to go ultra bullish on it, wants to go conservatively bullish, someone wants to just make an income, long-term income out of this, does not want to take any risk or any chance on it, right? They said, okay, yeah, I feel good about this, but I don't feel that good that I want to do this. You know, this is an amazing starting point, right, for people to come back and look at this. And then if you have accounts where you don't have the option to do all these plays, you can move to an account that gives you the option to do this in this way. And if you cannot do that, then you have a simple strategy: buy the shares.
So I
Right?
have an exercise.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is really where my obstacle is, right? So and again,
Yeah.
I don't know enough to know the difference here. But
Yeah.
when I look at DraftKings and Penn National,
Mm-hmm.
Penn National is about 100, and DraftKings it was at 55, is now 60, around there. So my
Yeah.
question is this: why is it that DraftKings has such a low price tag when DraftKings is all over YouTube, is all over like just sports in general? So I don't know if it's the financials. So that's something I just don't know. You know, how am I able to answer that question if I don't know how to look at the numbers? But I do see both of these companies to go head and head, right? Because they
Yeah.
both into sports betting. I think DraftKings should be at the same level as Penn National if DraftKings is in all the arena and all the commercials, while Penn National is in the what is it, the casinos, right? The casinos are closed. So the only thing I can think of is David Portnoy. Like this guy is like a character. So whenever somebody sees him on TV, you know, they're gonna either relate to him or they're just gonna have fun whenever he speaks.
Yep.
But in terms of the numbers, I don't know if there's something in the background that I'm just not aware of.
Yeah, so I'm going to be teaching everyone how to understand the financials better over time. Okay, that's a no-brainer. That's the easy part. Okay, because it's a no-brainer lesson. Like we are already getting tools within Discord that will give you the financial data automatically through bots about these ticker symbols, so you can get insights to what these financially are doing. But with the way the market is going and the market is today and potentially in the future, all these companies are momentum plays now. So it's all about which one's going to get more attention, more hype. You know, you could see Zillow, what price it is, what is the PE ratio on it, what is the PE ratio for Open Door, right? Like, can you compare them? Can you say, oh, this is only 10% the price of Zillow? Like, shouldn't it be at Zillow price? Right? You can analyze that way, but your mind needs to convince yourself that that gap can exist based on perception of people's minds, right? Why is, let me put it this way, why is Dropbox not priced at the same price as DocuSign? You know, that's another question people should be asking themselves internally, right? They're like, oh wait, they have DocuSign features in there, they have everything like DocuSign in there, but why are they not priced at that? They can route just like DocuSign can. So, you know, but people will like challenge themselves like, oh no, the software may be better there, or the software may be weaker here, right? So, you know, there's a lot of these questions that can kind of come up through this process that you will not have answers to, and nobody will have answers to, right? But if you see that this is a value play, you know, vet it out, right? Let's put a strategy together. Let's discuss strategy. Okay, I want to play this, but I want to play it this way. I want to be ultra bullish, or I don't want to be ultra bullish. I want to be income on this one. Yeah, let's play that way, right? And as you all know, anytime I get into a ticker symbol, I share how I'm playing it ultra bullish, or am I doing it conservative, right? Or is it the income, core income strategy on it? Is it a short term, long term, right? So we kind of discuss about that. But I think we need to now do our homework. I'm going to go ahead and find a way to package this as a nice way where we can have more communication around this on Discord over time with thesis documentation. And then here's the thing, we also want to have different flavors of trades on this. Ultra bullish, you know, medium bullish, or conservative income, right? Like if someone wants that, we can kind of put something together around that. Fair enough, everyone? What are your thoughts? Like, yes, no, maybe?
That seems fair. I like
Seems
that.
fair.
I like
Yeah.
that strategy. Oh, and I don't
And
know
this
who would
doesn't,
speak.
hold on. Before you say anything, I lose the train of my thought here.
Of course.
This does not deviate from what we are doing today. Like I said, this is a separate pillar. Okay. This doesn't deviate the current pillar that we have. We still have the core income pillar running. We still have the buy calls, you know, YOLO type of trades, go to the moon kind of trades running. You know, we also have this pillar running. So we want all these pillars, all these cylinders running at the same time, right? So that's our end goal, right? Is have all these cylinders running. So I don't want to confuse anyone that we're mixing this up with what we are doing today. It's a separate process. Fair enough?
Yes, it is.
If it intersects, great. If it doesn't intersect, this is a separate process altogether.
Hey guys, do we want to look at the Bitcoin stock to flow ratio chart?
but but that's all I had for today, is capture this exercise with a large group, right? And everyone, most folks joined and contributed to this. If folks who are driving or something couldn't contribute, we're going to put this in a better format, and we're going to share it out in a way where there can be more contribution and collaboration on top of this. Fair enough?
Hey, Mitt, but since we are all here together, can someone explain to me why DraftKings is lower than Penn?
I have an
I really
explanation.
need to know the answer to that one.
I have an explanation. So DraftKings, I don't know if you know, but it does offer a casino. Okay. So I think, I honestly think with DraftKings and UPenn, I think you have to look at it in a sense of like who's running it. I think Frank was stating that who is like the face of DraftKings and UPenn. And UPenn, of course, if correct me if I'm wrong, is by that guy from Barcelona, David Poultry. I don't know his last name. So I think that's why, and and I think when regards to gambling for like casinos or whatnot, I think Penn has like a more overreach than DraftKings. I could
Don't
be
they have
completely
hard
wrong.
assets, George? They have physical
Yeah,
locations.
yeah.
Right?
That I
Yeah.
was gonna add that. So Penn National has a larger intrinsic value because of their physical real estate and casinos.
Yeah.
So that they have that base foundation. I personally think that's a negative. I like digital more than traditional casinos. So I think the market's going to determine over time what the value is going to be. But I also like the fact that ARK started buying up DraftKings too. There's always that ARK trend that helps push things up. But Mitt and Leon and everyone, I just wanted to share. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of YouTube videos on a lot of this stuff, anyways.
Yep.
and I'll do a lot of detail. I'm going to give you my interpretation of my analysis, and if if you guys are don't like my style or have any input that can help me improve the way I'm presenting the information, I'd appreciate any constructive feedback. But I've already started putting together a whole bunch of PowerPoints and detailed analysis on the fundamentals and technicals on most of these sectors up here, regardless. And I'd be happy to share that with everyone here and kind of give you my insights.
So Frank, that's amazing, and what we are trying to achieve by this is we want to organize this well. So we'll have a place where you can just slide in that video. If someone wants to watch it, they're welcome to go there, and it's organized in a way that they can dive into that easier, right? And check your video out for that particular sector or that particular ticker symbol that you may be putting around.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So you see, like that Frank can put his opinion. Anyone else wants to put a video against Frank, you can do that as well. And then put it out there and say, no, I disagree with Frank. This is what this is going to do. Right. And yeah, everyone's welcome to kind of collaborate on it. The thing is, we want to encourage collaboration, just so that people can see both sides of the coin at the same time while they're investing in it, and not just be skewed one direction or the other just by influence, right? There's going to be influence one direction or the other, but just go ahead and keep your open mind both ways.
On a personal note, I want to hear as much constructive feedback as possible before I put any of my hard-earned money into anything. So yeah, the more pushback, the better, because someone might see something that I don't, or like Leon had his insights, and everyone on this call, and everyone, the group is more powerful than the individual.
Yep. I think we're getting stronger day by day. It's going to the moon.
Frank, you got to be the last person to talk though, because I'm gonna be honest. When you speak, it makes me feel like, man, you know what? Let me just take a step back. Let me just listen to you.
I've been through so much in the markets. If I want to talk about crypto, I could go all the way back to when I got burnt at Mt. Gox to talking about investing in markets. I lived through .com. I worked at a .com, lived through telecom. I've been through a lot of cycles. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. I still make mistakes, but I try to make better decisions than wrong ones, and that's I could bring a lot to the table from my personal experience. So hopefully it helps.
Nice. Snail's been quiet. All good, Snail? You got a path forward now?
Actually, I just joined a couple of minutes, so I have missed out the entire session today. Work has taken over this weekend, so
no worries.
yeah, but I
Mandar will
be
catch you up on it. But the whole idea was putting a good list for a long-term view. I think that was one of your concerns. So this helps fill in that gap a little bit.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's why we did this exercise as a group, so that people can see this perspective as another approach. Trust me, we're getting to a point where we're going to hit all the cylinders you can think of, right? How many cylinders does a truck have? 8 cylinders? Whatever, however many cylinders that has, right? And then we can hit it with EV. We can hit it with all these different.
I was about to say trucks now have 0 cylinders. They run on batteries.
there are batteries now. Yeah.
Not yet. But yeah, no. This was a good approach. Now it's all about packaging this well, and having good discussions, and putting this in a silo where it doesn't intermingle with our core income strategy, or doesn't intermingle with the social arb strategy that we have in place, led by Ashar and team. And so at least we have different silos running parallelly, right, for everyone, because not everyone want the piece of action in social arb. Not everyone wants
Right.
piece of action in core income, and not everyone want a piece of action in this what we did today, right? So you got choices, and then you got choices within choices, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's slowly turning into a buffet. We started off with one item on the platter, doing the sell puts and the sell calls. That was what we learned back in May,
That
and
was
now
the
it has turned
cheese.
into so well, that's the cherry on top. So no matter what you have at the bottom, you're going to have that cherry, which will just keep you smiling all along. Anyways, but I love this buffet thing that we have, a pick and choose a la carte menus for to serve everybody's appetite, right, and their accounts and everything. So no,
Yep.
I look forward to looking into this video and understanding more once it is out. Yeah.
Yep. And again, everyone, this is not, I'm not making advice that you should go buy all these, right? There's a mixed opinion of these, but I think everyone's done a fair assessment of picking a good amount of energy stocks that they've heard of recently, and that have heard good stuff about it recently through different communication channels that they have been following lately. At least these ones pop out to them, and then they have taken the time to read about it, vet it, and that's why they put it on this list today. I don't know what to say, but I want to end with this. If I blindly closed my eyes and bought everything, like maybe a share of everything, I can assure you what you all have done today is going to, definitely skyrocket over at least 5-6 years. Maybe one may fail, maybe one may win, but if we create a portfolio out of this, right, you will be doing a good load balancing of these ticker symbols to an extent that you will be net positive, and you could potentially be beating the market as well, right? It's a fair statement to say, if you kind of picked few out of these and not weighted yourself too much on one versus the other. You did like an equal weight today on this.
As a practice, Mitt, sorry to interrupt. I think we should put a date on here.
Yeah.
Equally weight each category, and
Yep.
then equally weight everything underneath.
Yeah.
And just look at it over time, and just out of curiosity, just see what happens. I'd love that. I'd love to see, like, 6 months from now, a year from now, how this thing panned out.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to put that in an Excel file. I'm going to put the current price of it, and then we're going to see how this rolls, this portfolio rolls, right?
I think we should do two things: equally weight, say it's like $100 at each of these, but also the unequally weight. Buy one share of each. So, and then that includes one coin of Bitcoin too, and let's see how that goes.
Nice. But any last minute questions before we end the session today? Any thoughts behind this? Any concerns? Feel free to speak your mind here. We're a community here, so you're welcome to think out loud.
Sounds like it's time for the music.
It's time for the music. And by the way, before I take off, how does everyone think about meeting on Sunday rather than Saturday? Any opinions?
Sunday is okay with me, Matt. This is Shri.
Yeah, I prefer Saturday too.
I prefer Saturday because of Gurdwara church.
Okay, and if you have to do that's a morning, evening or afternoon? Saturday?
Evening is good. Sunday evening is good.
If there's profit to be made, I'll make the time.
True.
Yeah, I like
We went that
I
way.
like Sunday evening as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could do Sunday evening is ready fresh for the next day because the market opens next day, of course. So I like
If
Sunday evening.
Mid has some AMC kind of strategy every Sunday, I will definitely join.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I may move this meeting to Sunday afternoon, evening kind of time frame.
Mate, I would say like a lot of people are working, and like Sunday is a kind of night, like you start preparing your mind with okay, they have been meeting, I need to set up, there have been some things I need to done.
No, Saturday is just my opinion. Saturday is more like a family / catch up with chores around the house day, especially for women. I don't know about men.
No, I think like all of men
And
do.
also all the like social activities whenever things open up, God knows when. But typically it's Saturdays. Sunday after afternoon is kind of like winding down the week and getting ready for Monday. So Sunday afternoons and evenings, from my perspective, are kind of easier.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I was asking is because yeah, I'm hitting cylinders on my tax season now, so I'm gonna
Oh,
be
gotcha.
busy.
Yeah.
And the other thing was I'm starting to sense that Sunday feels better because like the futures market opens at 5, so I want to kind of include that
Yeah.
to see where the market's going to open on Monday, and then people can probably get a feeling of it while we're in the session, like between like maybe have a session between 3 and 5ish, somewhere there on a
Yes.
Sunday, if most people can go. I don't want to do morning because people go to worship, right, and all that, so don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
by 3 o'clock, Pritesh ji will be done with his nap too. So I think 3 to 5 is not bad.
Yeah.
Consider other time zones as well. So we're all from West.
Yeah, and yeah.
Or better take a polling. If everyone is okay, then yeah, we have to go.
Yeah, because the other thing is morning people have to wake up early, right? So I don't want to like if there's anything. Yeah, let me put something together and get a poll from everyone. How about that?
I was just gonna say that just get a poll to see
Yeah.
figure out what works best for people.
Yeah, I'll put a
You know.
couple of slots and get a poll. How about that? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, fair enough. Alrighty.
Thank you so much.